Hi, this is Jeremy Schuback. Welcome to the PS Pod, episode 19. What we're going to be doing in this episode is just going to be doing some beauty retouches to a face. So we're going to be working with this image and using the tools that we've had before, transform tool, stamp tool, selection tool, just to make minor changes here and there to see what we can do with it. Alright, so I'm going to duplicate out this layer and just keep this in the background, the old version, just in case there's any mistakes. Then I'm going to create a new empty layer. Then I'm going to do a bunch of the stamp tool on. I'm going to go to spot healing brush, and I'm just going to go over all of the bumps and, zits or whatever they are, and just kind of lightly brush them away. If you zoom out, you can kind of see that that's still sticking out. So I am going to try brushing over it a little bit more. I'm going to bring this brush down. Oh, interesting. This brush doesn't do percentages. So let's see before and after there. Yeah, I'd say that did a pretty good job. I see that there's some aberrations right there, right there. I'm just kind of going over everywhere there's bumps and such and getting rid of them. Alright, so here we go. And that looks pretty good. Alright, next step I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of some of these wrinkle lines right here. So I could do it with this brush. Again, the content aware is, I'm going to take it off of content aware, put it to proximity match. Just make sure that it has a soft edge and try it again. Alright, I'm not particularly happy with that. I'm going to go from the spot healing brush to the healing brush tool. And this one works very similar to the stamp tool, in that you do need to sample from an area first, and then it just tries to mimic that area. Alright, did that do anything? It looks like it didn't, because it's set to current layer. I'm going to put it to current and below. And now let's see what happens. So just as I had to do that with the stamp tool. Alright, so you can see that it kind of got rid of that right there. I'm going to lower the edge hardness with shift square brackets, which I'm going to repeat as many times as I am able until you know it. And alright, I'm going to say that this area over here looks fairly happy. What happens when this has a hard edge? It looks like it had been working fairly well before. The tool actually worked a little bit better with the hard edge. No, I'm going to leave it with a soft edge. Alright, I'm going to do the same for this line up here. And you can see that it's just kind of getting rid of it. I'm just sampling from a place that's completely smooth. So it is trying to mimic that smoothness up here. So again, before and after. Alright, let's keep going. Let's do that same thing on the other eye. And for those of you who have played with beauty retouching in the past, I know that there's some more advanced techniques. I'm trying to just use some of the more simple techniques to get this solved. As you can see, it just comes off as a little bit of makeup. So again, before, after, there we go, just like switching between the two. There's kind of a weird line happening right here. Gonna get rid of that. There we go. Just kind of get rid of this. Alright, do I want to get rid of these wrinkle lines up here? I'm less concerned about that, quite honestly, but sure, why not? What we're going to do next is I am going to blur every part of the image. Well, we're going to save that for last, actually. What we're going to do next is we're going to increase the size of the eyes and decrease the size of the nose. And there's just something with the human eye that makes that slightly more attractive. Big eyes are good. And the trick that I heard is go as far as you can while the person still looks human. And then, take a step back so, it's not alien looking. Alright, so far what we have is from this to this. I'd say it's coming along pretty nicely. There's a weird area right here. I'm just going to use my eraser tool, E for eraser, and just erase this out right here. And I actually kind of prefer that. Alright, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just looking to make sure that there's no crazy mistakes. This area down here still doesn't look great. I'm going to go back to the spot healing tool, decrease its size. decrease its size. There we go. All right, we're going to say good enough. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good to me. I would say it's definitely a step in the right direction. All right, so we're going to combine these two layers. We're not going to flatten the whole image. We're just going to say merge layers. And when we shift select two layers, it merges those two layers together. So now they're a single layer. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the lasso tool. And this is just the freeform lasso tool. And we are going to select around the eye. So I'm just kind of selecting loosely around the eye. And there we go. What we're going to be doing is, and then I'm going to press Shift to also select around this eye as well. There we go. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be copying this layer, Control C, Control V, and having a layer that's just the eyes. One thing I do want to do, and then we are going to be increasing their size, but one thing I want to do is make sure that we don't get this hard edge right here. You can see that there's a hard edge right there. It's very obvious. I'm going to delete this and go back into the lasso tool. One thing you might want to notice, when you press delete, it doesn't delete a layer unless you're on the move tool. So if I was on the lasso tool and press delete, it wouldn't delete the layer. However, if I go to the move tool first by pressing V, and then I press delete, it deletes the layer. All right, so I accidentally just got rid of that other selection. I'm going to hit Control Z. I'm going to remember to hit Shift. All right, and what I'm going to do so I don't get that hard edge is just feather the edges a bit. So I've shown you how to do that. Just feather, right-click, feather. Let's set it on 20. Just guessing here. That looks like it's way too much. I'm going to set it on 10. There we go. I'm going to copy, paste, and now we have a layer that's just the eyes. I'm going to press Control T for free transform, hold down Shift so it's constrained, and actually hold down Alt as well so it moves it from the middle. I don't know if I showed you that. And just increase it by about 5%, like something that's barely noticeable but absolutely noticeable. It's very subtle. Here, let's just... All right. There we go. I might also move the eyes closer together, so I'm going to do that just by dragging this half of the layer and going to V so I can use the arrow keys and nudge this. If I hadn't pressed V first, it would only be moving the selection. It wouldn't be moving the layer itself. And then Control D. All right, and actually I'm going to do that to the other eye as well. So first I select the lasso tool. For some reason that didn't work. Okay, first I select the lasso tool and just select out this entire part of the layer. Then I hit V to go to the move tool, and then I just use the arrows to nudge it over. All right. Control D. And I'm just going to step back in the history. I'm going to move this this eye a little bit to the right. Just a little bit. All right. Now I'm going to decrease the size of the nose. So same process. Go to the lasso tool. Select out the nose. Don't grab any part of the lip. And feather the edge. Okay. Press Control C and Control V. And then decrease the size of the nose with Control T. I'm holding Shift and Alt. I know this is a lot of keyboard shortcuts, but I've said them many times. And I'm just decreasing it by about 3 or 4%. If you look in the options bar, it'll show you how big of a percent it is. So just a very, very imperceptible bit. All right, we're going to leave the mouth as is, size-wise. And so it's just the difference between that, and that.